everybody, and happy Tuesday. Here we are coming live, and for the love of dragons, Araya AndaRa here. Got some interesting subjects today. I never know what I'm going to talk about each week, and just found a question in the group that is a very interesting one for me because I haven't heard of it before. So we're going to dive into that, about what is an eternity dragon. And then from a session this morning, I had some very interesting information that I thought, that would be a great one to share with everyone. So I'm going to be talking about embodiment and what are we doing on this dragon journey? What are we doing with the dragons and our own dragon self as we move into merging with that light body? What really is the process right now? We've had some ideas, but it's becoming more and more real. It's actually starting to manifest down in the physical body. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So hopefully everybody's having a good week. Nice and quiet. We got a little cold snap again here after getting out, doing a bunch of garden work, getting some beautiful fruit trees in my garden, and loving the spring weather. And of course, then it tried to snow flurry yesterday, which will be interesting to see how it affects all the fruit set. Anyway, so let's dive in. I've got all my friends here with me on this first question about one of our members, Tristan, asked, because he had an experience where the words eternity dragon came in and he can't find anything about it. And so let's ask about that. And when I first sat with that just a few minutes ago when I read it, concept of eternity dragon, sitting with it, opening my heart, allowing the reading space to open. Hello, we've got some friends coming on. Good to see you guys. One of the things that I was drawn to do first was to change the artwork behind me. So I've got the black and white dragons in their merge dance here, because that was the first thing that I felt when an eternity dragon energy was present. And as I go into feeling what is an eternity dragon, the first thing I kept seeing was this figurating spin. And most of us know this is the infinity symbol. It's about creating the energy of eternity, creating that infinite looping that is both infinite potential and always holds the potential of both sides and the merge point in the center. So with that energetic, all of the dragons come from lineages that are holding specific dynamic energies, right? So if you have a dragon that's holding a specific energy of eternity, then who are those dragons? What are they doing? Where do they exist? And I do feel like they come from a very specific realm, and that they are meant to hold, much like a twin flame energy would be, that an eternity dragon is one that's holding that pattern. And so the closest that I had was this black and white merge, because when these two come into the dance to re-merge back into union, and they both stemming from the crystal, so all that information is in the book, The Dragon Within. If you don't have it yet, it's on the site, dragonwithin.com. Ebook or paperback or hardcover, 3 different languages, 4th coming out. But the energy of that spiral that they come into creates this dance. So when I felt eternity dragon, it was like feeling a twin flame match pair that was never separated, that they stayed in this constant union state. And it's very interesting because I'm just being reminded now, we've had a discussion going on in the group in some posts from one of our members in Holland about this idea of vanishing twin syndrome, and where DNA can be repaired by that twin's energy still being present in the person's field, even though in the womb they, quote, vanished. But that the person that came through, embodied, has a physical body, has always carried those energetic codes with them, that they don't fully disappear, but they're actually benefiting from this ascension time on the planet at the same time. So in a very similar pattern, there's a dynamic of 2 energies always spiraling around each other, 2 energies present within a field. And so going out for Tristan's question, this idea of eternity dragon presenting for you, you might look at that concept of, was there any energetic twin present in your own birth pattern? Have you had that energy around you? Or is this something that you are holding as a pattern here on the planet of, why is it important to hold that infinity looping energy? Why did an eternity dragon hold that pattern? Part of what we do as dragons is to always hold, and thank you, battling to hear you. Interesting. So thanks for that reminder. I'm going to make sure my volume's all the way up, and get my microphone in because not everybody's sound system picks up very clearly. So thank you, Marlene, for that. I'm going to just pull this good sound. Thanks for the reminder. All right, hopefully that's better there, Marlene. So this energy pattern of eternity dragon and the idea of, and there she is, come online. I was just mentioning the vanishing twin thing. So this is a discussion you want to re-listen to there, Tanya. The eternity dragon concept and why, as energies come in, as dragons are existent for holding energetic coding, energetic matrices, it's one of their greatest gifts, that they actually hold incredible levels of pattern. You, as dragon, hold those in your field here in this body, in this template, that this energy of eternity dragon is a pattern that needs to be held to hold the potential of the merge point. So when I sense and feel this, all right, what are eternity dragons? Because it's definitely a new term for me, but I can feel the energy and know that they're the ones holding in a pattern as we approach the ascension timelines, as we approach the potential of it, that on the edges of that, they are holding almost outside of the normal dragon grids. They are holding a pattern of this infinity looping that holds the polarized union state. And what does that mean? That would be holding like the bridging state of duality, linear, horizontal expansion into a shift into union where it can move into a vertical expansion. And so that the eternity dragon holds within it, and I initially seen the figure 8 pattern. But what's interesting about this is as I talk about it, and this is often how it happens in my classes, so this is an interesting thing to have on a live, more information starts coming, so I start to get a bigger picture. So there's a dragon that in itself can hold this dual energy, like a twin flame energy, but it never separates. And it's not so different than like my normal dragon pattern. Most of the higher dimensional dragons are already androgynous, perfectly merged. They have both masculine and feminine within them in a fully merged state. This would be akin to something that holds that, but as a movement away from that towards linear or polarization, duality, but without separating. That like two cells that divide or separate, when you have a cell that divides and then becomes two cells, and then it becomes four, right, in the process of individuation or creation. This is an energy that these eternity dragons hold that holds these two patterns but doesn't split. It maintains this union state point. And if you've ever seen a double Vajra, this is a really important dynamic, energetic in our ascension process. And this is one of the patterns or symbols that has come in many times in the merge process, particularly with the black and white dragons. And that must be part of why I felt to bring them in also, because they're actually a split state of that, but they're merging back in the union of it. But if you've ever heard of a double Vajra, this is the horizontal expansion I was talking about, and this moves into the vertical expansion. So these eternity dragons are holding this for us, and then will help us move into this, so that we move into that ascension pathway, that vertical expansion. And it all happens through the midpoint, the 0 point doorway. And when we have coming from a grid or a matrix or a system that has been in 3D, that has had the dragons volunteering to hold all the grid points, right? They've been out there doing that. They've now passed it on to the Lyrans, or they're in process of that. So what is the next energetic grid? So if I looked beyond the horizon of the grid matrix that is being held around our atmospheric relevance for Earth plane, the next set would be these eternity dragons holding this as a state all around us in their own pattern, whatever that pattern is. I'm seeing it right now as like, here's our atmospheric, here's Gaia, here's the edges of the atmosphere, and there are other parts of the bigger matrix out beyond that in the full universe, but we've got here a closeness or proximity as if the eternity dragons are starting to come in. So I think it's interesting that Tristan got this hit. He heard that. He may very well be one from that realm. And when you activate your codes within you, and my whole body's tingling on this, Tristan, which is my confirmation, when you hold that full pattern within you and you embody your dragon, if you are Eternity Dragon realm, which I'm guessing you either have a close connection to or are Eternity Dragon, you're going to start recognizing this information, this feeling, this template of what you hold, as in, I'm fully merged. I've got my divine masculine feminine, and as I touch into my dragon self coming in, then all of a sudden I'm holding that 0 point. I'm parted this, beautiful, activating that Vajra in January. That this template of holding that unified state together is an energetic that is like a lead point. It's like the carrot out in front of the horse. That those that are starseeds or beings, the whole light team of warriors, whether they're dragon, starseed, fae, doesn't matter. The light warrior teams are holding specific patterns out in front of us to magnetize us towards that. And so if these eternity dragons are holding this pattern out, they're helping hold that 0 point as a beacon of light for all of those around the globe that maybe aren't awake yet, maybe aren't on their spiritual path yet, maybe aren't really aware that there's much beyond 3D yet. As we magnetize towards that as our state, and I find it interesting, this is also talking about embodiment today because they're tied together. I'm seeing that as we get closer to that state of embodiment and anchor those codes within us, then we start really holding that for the bigger collective. And beautiful, Tanya, that was anchored, the Vajra pattern, in your heart, because that's exactly what happens with the black and white dragons. You'll feel the male black and white, or the male black and female black, the female and male white actually come together in a four-branched Vajra, just like that, the double Vajra. And I know that that's why that symbol was part of the whole Buddhist movement, and why that double Vajra is on the pillow of every Dalai Lama and many other senior members, but especially in particular the Dalai Lama, of that enlightenment point. That they, as beings, are holding those codes of embodiment in their pattern. So that's what the Eternity Dragons are doing. So Tristan, I hope that answers your question, but also begs more questions for you of seeking, of calling out, like, where is that within me? So I want to move from that into this piece on embodiment that came today. So this whole energy today is really tied into this next framework of our ascension journey and what that means. So just as a little recap of what is our ascension process, what is the whole point of our journey to our dragon heart? You know, why do I do the Way of the Dragon Heart program? Why have I done the Quantum Flight program? Why am I putting out there this being who you be? Step into who you be is the tagline for the programs. And what does that mean? It's about embodying your full dragon self, of your light body as dragon form, and how to bring that in for this ascension process and actually merge with it. So the process has been to merge with that light, merge with that field. And now the word becomes embodiment, because we are embodied. We are in a body. And if we're going to bring our light body through, we have to be able to embody fully those energies. So I know that even with some of my dragon hearts, there's been points of merge, and the dragons have their own chakra system, and those merge, and they're points of contact for the light body. There's a crystal grid activation that I do with all of them that is part of that. And as our crystalline geometries come in and we get more and more connected with that, embodiment is about taking it beyond those singular points of connection and feeling the entire chakra system merge with your higher light body self, your dragon, or whatever species you might be, but mostly dragons are listening to me. And then letting every single cell through all of your bodies. So you have your physical, mental, emotional, energetic. I have two extra, well, I've been taught from the dragons about the 2 extra bodies we have in the background. So we actually have 7 bodies: physical, mental, emotional, energetic, 5th dimensional, 6th dimensional, and then your 7th dimensional light body. And these 2 I go in depth on in my programs. But as we begin to bring all of those together, every single cell in every level of your bodies is about embodying that merge, embodying that light template that is your higher self. So what does that really mean? That means you have to continually allow yourself to open, open, open with intention, letting myself open. Quite often we focus on let my heart open, let my whole body, just from the heart space open. But if you imagine the heart or the 0 point doorway in each cell, and even down to each particle on the micro level, And how can you open that bigger to embody the light that you are, and to start recognizing and allowing the truth to be seen of what limitations do I have to true freedom, true autonomy, because your light body is fully autonomous. Your light body is fully free. And when you, what I talked about last week, that flight I had where it was such triggering memory of the embodiment of flying as my dragon, or a dragon rider would experience on the back of their dragon, that in that sensation of the full freedom and autonomy of that memory bank for me, when I recognize that level of freedom, if that's what's coming through to embody through me, and I have any levels of limitation on my freedom here in this body form, it's going to repel or slow down the ability to come into self. On the light body, to be able to embody into every one of your cells. If your cells believe that you are limited in some way, that you cannot be free, that you cannot do what you wish in every moment, that you cannot have this or do that, or what is your heart dreaming of? Is it possible? If you have any limitations, and we have lots of them just because of the way our conscious or unconscious, really, society is set up. We have boundaries around us almost on every angle. And when we start to see the truth of that and allow those boundaries to become on off, and just, maybe we can't see them, but we can set our intention of, please let me see where I'm not free. Please let me open to really recognize where I am limiting myself and my freedom, because as soon as we can do that and those cells open, they can embody more of that light. And that's the full true process of embodiment. That now as we're on the precipice, you guys, we are so close to this leap and this fullness of, all right, letting it all come through the cells. This is another key forward. This is another step of how much can I open? How much can I embody through every cell in every one of my bodies that much light? And it is a gentle process. We've been working at it for a while. We've had a lot happen in the last 2 years in particular. But why is it this ongoing gradual unfolding? Why do we keep getting more clues the further we go when we think we're right there? But you're welcome, Tanya. It was likened this morning in session to, if you were in a cell, say in a dark cave or a cell, like in solitary confinement, and deprived of light for weeks, right? And all of a sudden someone came in with a really bright flashlight and shone it on you. You wouldn't even be able to look at it. You'd be like fumbling, like, oh, it's too bright, too bright. If our embodiment happened in an instant, it would be too overwhelming and we would repel it. We'd be like this to it. So this gentle phase of moving forward gently, 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 open, 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 open. All the steps that we've taken is that ability to let the light start cracking in. Let us start to open up the window shades. Oh my gosh, there's this brilliance of light. Even now, can we truly contemplate and allow in the brilliance of light that is our fullness of self on a soul level? Or would it still be too bright for us? And how, what are you ready for? And just honoring, like, all right, I'm in this, I'm ready, I'm opening, and can I open to fully embody? And recognizing that full embodiment is going to entail, I need to open in every cell in my body. I need to be willing and intend and desire. And one of the beautiful things that happened in the session this morning was stepping into one of those memories. And I think this is a great exercise that everybody can do. Go into a place where you have a full memory in this body of a moment that you felt absolutely free, unhindered in any way whatsoever, fully autonomous, fully free. You might have been skiing down a powder hill. You might have been on a bike. You might have been jumping up in the air off a trampoline. You might have been, I don't know, planting something. Whatever that moment was for you, when you really felt full 100% freedom. And match that memory energetic. Just dive into that energy again. Open it through your physical body. And then allow the connection with your dragon to come in to bring an even greater level of that in. So that you're matching that energy as high as you can to the energy that your soul self holds, that your dragon self holds, and let them magnetize to each other. Because you'll find that that opens up more within your physical body. Because the task right now is, hey, my light body, it's fully on, right? It's always fully shining. And if I want to bring it in, then I have to allow everything in my physical body to start preparing for that, to start allowing it, right? So I'll get off my little soapbox or like teaching mode here. I feel like it's been a great opportunity to just shed some light on different aspects and bring in bigger questions for you. For some reason too, I'm not sure why yet, but when I asked about the eternity dragons and looked at all my dragons on the walls, the moon dragon was also wanting to be present in the sphere. And I think when I connect in with her now about the what is the moon dragon energy? It's a reflective energy. Reflecting that light. Can you even hold the reflection of your light, or is it too bright? Because if you look directly at the sun, it hurts your eyes, right? When we look up directly to the sun, we've got to like put special glasses on or do this. Well, if that's the brilliance of your full body, can you at least look and begin to see the brilliance of the reflection through what the moon is showing us, how the moon reflects that light, and then begin to embody and know, I'm not just that. I'm the sun that's millions of miles away from that, millions of light years away from that, hitting that and able to still reflect that much. Now I'm ready to turn and look at the fullness of that light that is me. And when I allow myself to recognize the fullness of that, all right, what do I need to do to prep my body to own that, to embody that? So literally shedding some light. Yes, laughing out loud, Marlene. So thanks for being here, you guys. I love connecting with my dragon family. And I know I'm not always checking the comments and the posts on a regular daily basis, but I'm doing my best with it. And I do always see them, just not necessarily in a timely fashion or what you guys would consider timely, only because I'm moving into a space out of time commitment and like following the heart. It all goes in its own flow, and this is where we need to go as well. So if you are needing any assistance or guidance on a one-on-one level, maybe we've never connected before and you want to see like, what's it like to talk to you? I have discovery calls, free 20-minute calls. They're on my booking calendar. So the book now button on either homepage, invokehealing.com or dragonwithin.com will get you to it. And maybe you'll get there and know like, oh, actually I feel like a reading. Those are all offered on there as well. And if you guys want to see specific classes or programs, I know there's a request out for a class on the AndaRa dragons. And I'm still seeing like, where can I create that? Where do I feel the energy and the time frame to do that? But if there's specific things that you want to see, maybe you want to see new guided meditations, or you want to see an actual guided meditation on our live, put it out there. Put things in the suggestion box. Send me an email or a message, or put it in a post comment, so that it seeds into my field of what you guys want or need, and I'm happy to meet that, because that's what I'm here for, to be your guide. So lovely to see you all. Thanks for being here. Feel free to share this out if it would be beneficial to anyone to hear about the Eternity Dragons or Embodiment. And have a fabulous week. Much love and giant dragon hugs to each of you. Bye for now.